And we did do a number of workshops on how you can repurpose, reuse some of your old clothes, some materials that you have in your house to create a nice outfit for yourself. You don't always need to go and buy something new.
Welcome to a new episode of Most Memorable Journeys. There is a lot to say about today's guest. I have a long list of notes for introduction. I met him on a hike and I instantly understood that he's great fun. So I didn't know who he was, to be honest, but then I just thought, wow, this man is funny. Then I found out that he's a doctor, he has a PhD. He is the head of the hospitality department and lecturer in the field of hospitality and tourism at CTL Euro College. He is a tour guide. He is a very, very good ambassador for the island of Cyprus. He calls himself just a crazy Cypriot without borders. And he did a TED talk about storytelling, which I listened and I loved. And he was the king of carnival. So welcome to Most Memorable Journeys, Dr. Vasilis Papavasiliou.
You could just call me Vasilis. I mean, I'm so excited to be with you and have a lovely chat, actually. And I think we have a lot of things to share from our adventures. And I don't know where to start.
I do. I want to know, how did you choose to do your PhD in Hong Kong? Let's start with that.
Good question. So I always wanted to do a PhD. And as soon as I finished my master's, I was looking for work, actually. I wanted to work a little bit, but then it was difficult because in Cyprus, it was the years where we had a collapse in the banking system, because that was when as soon as I finished my master's and I came back to Cyprus. So that was a no-no. And then I went to visit my cousin, which he was working as a dentist in Berlin. And I was like, okay, I'm going to visit him, free accommodation, and see what's going to happen. So I started touring around Berlin and then worked a little bit on Sandman tours, the free guided tours, which was nice because I knew a lot of history, especially about the Second World War, because that's what I did for A-level. And I, of course, refreshed all my notes. So that was fun. And then I started applying for a PhD because that was my second plan, right? If I don't find any work, then I'll just do my PhD. So I started drafting some proposals and I was like, okay, I don't care where in the world I'm going to go. And I just Googled the top 10 universities in the world in terms of research in tourism and hospitality. And I just applied to those universities according to the list. So I did get some feedbacks. Some universities accepted me without a scholarship. So I had to pay. For me, that was a no-no. So I kept waiting to see the results from the other unis. And fate has it that the number one in the list in terms of research for tourism and hospitality was Hong Kong University, Hong Kong Polytechnic University. I had an interview with them. They liked me. And I was like, okay, let's go for it. And they gave me a scholarship. So that was a bonus. And I remember thinking it was a big, difficult decision because I never thought about going in Asia. And I thought, if I don't go, I will always think, how would my life be? The road not taken. So took my bags, knew no one, and just went with the flow. And that was one of the most amazing experiences in my life.
I am sure it was. How long did you stay?
Yeah, nearly 5 years.
And did you travel around any other countries in Asia?
Yeah, of course. Vietnam, a couple of times. That's one of my favorite places. I've been to Taiwan, Trying to remember now. Thailand. Went to mainland China, but unfortunately, I didn't go to Beijing because it was the COVID. I had it in my plans, but then we got COVID. But thankfully, I'm going this June in Beijing. So I always wanted to see the Forbidden City and the wall.
Excellent. I was back there last year, and it's amazing, amazing. I mean, the you know what it's from Hong Kong, how modern and how far ahead of us these people are. You know, when it comes to technology and when it comes to everything, really. I have to tell the people who are listening, because I think about 110 countries, people from 110 countries listening to my podcast. We are on a very small island, Vasilis and I, and we are from a very small community. It's kind of, we all know each other in a way. And
Exactly.
for somebody to actually go to Hong Kong, I'm not saying that nobody does it. Lots of people go and study abroad, but I think it was a very big step. And I'm wondering, did your parents approve, or were they okay? Or
I'm lucky because I'm lucky because my parents are the type of people that always say, do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
And of course, it was a shock because I've never talked about going to Asia. So, and I've never talked to them about applying in universities in Asia. And then I told them, guys, a university in Hong Kong accepted me, and I'm thinking to go because I have the offer. So that was a little bit of a shock, like, but of course, they were happy. But trying to think, is he really going to Asia? Like,
will he ever come back?
will he ever come back?
I mean, the reason why I'm saying it, obviously, we are, we were a grown-up man, and you can do whatever you want, but we still here. It's because of the way we live. We do want parents' approval in a way, if possible. We will still do what we want, but it's interesting. Now, I was listening to your TED talk, and you said something there. I don't remember how you said it, but it was about tourism. And people telling you, what are you going to do with tourism? You're not going to earn any money.
Oh.
And how many times I have heard, because me personally, I was a tour guide when I was young for 11 years worldwide. For me, it's the most beautiful profession, the most beautiful industry in the world. What is your take on? Because I want to hear it a little bit more detailed.
So can I ask you, did you experience these questions, for example, when you were young?
Not in this way, but I know that my friends who had the same education, they went and worked in a bank. I'm from Switzerland. They went and worked in a bank, or they went and worked, I don't know, in some private industry, and they earned about 3 times more than I did. But I had a much better time than they did.
It's about pursuing when you're in a young age, you don't know what you like, to be honest. Unless you experience it. So, well, to be honest, my bachelor degree was business management and marketing. And I chose it because, in Cyprus, we had to do 2-year compulsory army service as soon as we finished school. So when you're like 18 years old, you don't know what you want to do. Some people are lucky, they do know. So I chose this. To be honest, my number one choice was to become like a director or an actor. So I always liked these creative arts. But then I thought, back then, these were my thoughts. Am I going to come back to Cyprus? My answer back then was yes. So then I thought, maybe it's not a good choice because and I'm talking about back then, how I was thinking and how things were in Cyprus. Now, things are totally different. I thought maybe it's not going to be a good choice because they don't accept you in the theater or they don't pay a lot. So I was okay, let me do something more generic, so something that I'm good at. And I was business and marketing. So I chose this, which was more broad. And then I remember on my second year, I chose a free elective course, which was outside the business school. It was in the geography department, different building. And from that free elective, it was called, I think it was called Society and Space. How it was a little bit more sociology, how we act in different spaces and places, and how we respond to different stimuli. And it had a little bit also marketing. And that's where I accidentally discovered that there were studies on tourism and hospitality. I had no idea that there were books and this field, because the lecturer was giving us case studies on Disney, on different hospitality oriented organizations, and I fell in love in reading cases, in reading how people act, why they travel. And that's why I discovered tourism, and I pursued tourism and hospitality for my master's and my PhD. So going back to your question, so when it was time to decide where to go for my PhD, I remember there was a fair, an educational fair with different representatives from universities. And I asked one particular person, which was a representative of a university, I think it was in the UK, I don't know. And I told him, so do you offer PhDs in tourism and hospitality? And he was like, why would you want to study that as a PhD? See, his look was as if he was like, study something else that would earn you money. And I was like, no, that's what I want to do. So I pursued what I wanted. So yeah, I think it's this attitude and a misconception in the field of tourism and hospitality.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful industry. And of course, you have to love people. You know, if you don't like people and you are actually surrounded by them and you are asked the same question for the 20th and the 50th time, you need patience. You need patience and love for people. And I think if you have that, because people, you said something else that I loved. I don't remember how you said it. Like you said that a tour guide is the ambassador or the
cultural broker of
yes, I love that.
the destination.
Yes, because you can read, and this is one thing that I have, even when I'm not a tour guide here in Cyprus. I mean, I do hiking tours, but whenever somebody comes to Cyprus, whether it's somebody that I know or somebody that I have met, I want them to have a good time because I want them to leave and like Cyprus. And I make an effort. I take them somewhere or I meet them or if I don't have much, just for a coffee. And I think this is what we should all be. We should be the ambassador of our place if we love it enough.
Exactly. It has to do with attitude. It has to do also with culture. And I mean, in terms of tour guiding, you're the first person of contact to a tourist that for them, it's an unknown destination, unknown history. And you're the one that they trust, and you're the one that translates this unknown world to them. What you say does have an impact on the image they create of the destination.
Yeah, so it's a very important thing to do. I want to say, I made a note here, and that it makes me laugh because you say, I've seen it in a few places, just a crazy Cypriot without borders. Now, what is a Cypriot with borders? I want to know what that means.
Yes. So without borders is, speaking about me, right? Always open to new ideas, new ways of doing things, never judging, never confined, and being comfortable in a cultural bubble, right? So yeah, for me, this is a crazy secret without borders, right? Be more open-minded and travel to open your horizons.
And travel without judgment.
That's very important. I see many people judging. I remember when I first traveled to Hong Kong, and in the first days, and weeks, I was saying, why do they do it in such a way? Why? And then I was like, okay, I give up. It just is. Let's just go with it.
Is what it is. And I think that's just how they do it, because I used to work for the police, I used to translate for the police and travel with the police. And these guys are very proud of Cyprus. So we would go somewhere and they would see this most amazing thing, it's wow, and I would say, oh, this is amazing. And they would say, we have that in Cyprus as well.
That's like, hey, listen, to be honest, I sometimes say this also, but because I'm proud of Cyprus.
Yes, and you should be. I mean, but look, this is exactly it. You are representing this country, but that doesn't mean that you cannot appreciate and respect others.
Yeah.
That's what the Without Borders is, isn't it?
Yeah. I've met a lot of people like going to other countries and just saying so many negatives about everything, and I'm like, okay, if you don't like it, just go.
Yes, I think that is a good one. Now, I overheard your grandparents are refugees. Where were you born?
Yeah, in Limassol. Yeah, my father was born in Namocustos. My mother is from Limassol. Yeah, so I was born in Limassol.
Okay, but your father was is your father still here?
Yes, he's in Limassol.
So,
I mean, because he cannot go, it's in the occupied area now. So
yeah, that's another story, because again, I always have to explain a little bit, because there are people listening. Most people they got it. I think they got now that we are living on an occupied island, and that 200,000 people were misplaced and cannot go home and are still hoping. What is your take on that? Do you think they will ever go back?
there's always hope, but I think hope fizzles away with time. So it's been already 50 years. It was the anniversary since 1974. So, I mean,
a lot of things have happened since then.
For me, my own opinion, I mean, as time goes, people forget. I mean, those that lived will not be living with us anymore. So all will be left are memories. So it's more difficult. How can somebody go back to a place, for example, that they never lived?
Exactly.
You can, of course, but there's more effort to it rather than having a solution, some kind of solution within the first, let's say, 5 or even 10 years since the issue occurred.
Yeah, that is so true. Another thing that I that made me laugh again in your TED talk was the discussion about the coffee. And we have this discussion everywhere. We had it last week in Corfu, a coffee, let's have a coffee. Coffee. But it's like Turkish coffee. And it's sort of like, now, which one? Because they're just, well, that's what the tourists say. They are the same, aren't they? What's the difference? Do you know, is there a difference between Greek and Turkish coffee? Is there a different way of making?
Now, okay, the origins, nobody knows for sure, but they speculate it was during the Ottoman times, where the Ottomans started spreading and coming towards the European continents. And they brought with them this newly discovered drink from the Middle Eastern area. Some people say it originates from Yemen. I don't know, but it's not confirmed. Now, it is essentially the same drink. However, the difference is the way that they make it. For example, in Turkey, they put some herbs inside. It's a darker roast than in Cyprus. So these are some main differences. The preparation is the same, more or less. So yeah, I think it has to do also with a little bit of taste. I think ours is Brazilian blend, if I remember correctly, when I did my research.
Okay. Well, it's obviously not from here, so it must be from somewhere. We don't grow.
Yeah. I mean, the coffee beans are not Cypriot, so.
What do you say to people? I'm sure you do that too sometimes when you have tour groups coming off a cruise ship
Mhm.
who think that they are in Greece, because that happens a lot too.
Oh, I don't know. It never happened to me, but it happened to me while in conversations with a lot of people. When I say I'm from Cyprus, you're one of the islands in Greece. And in their mind, it's somewhere along with the other islands. And then I'm like, no, actually, it's a little bit more far away, closer. I always say in east the Mediterranean, like at the far end.
Well, we are very
Geographically, though, we are part of the Middle East. Geographically,
exactly. Geographically, definitely, we are part of the Middle East.
Yeah.
And I think we're fine being part of the Middle East, because that's also a beautiful area of the world. Have you traveled around our area? Have you been to any of those countries? No?
To be honest, no. The only place I traveled was in Qatar. But I would like to travel the rest of the areas. I mean,
because we are surrounded by beautiful countries: Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt, and it's like less than an hour's flight.
Yes. So yeah, that's in my bucket list for sure.
Good. Very good. Now, changing the subject completely, how does one become king of Carnival of Limassol? And why? I mean, people don't know. Like, I'm from Lucerne. We have a carnival culture. Lots of people don't know that we even have carnival in Cyprus.
Yeah, it's true. And I think it's we need to promote it more. It's already promoted a lot, but I think because of the sheer number of attendees in the festivities and even the parades, I think it's something noteworthy for someone to visit Limassol, Cyprus. And how does somebody become a carnival king? So that's a very good question. There is no correct answer, but what is in the criterion is that it should be someone passionate with carnival, attending events in groups, be creative in terms of their outfits. Usually, according to the track record also before me, it was like people usually in their 50s. So I was one of the youngest.
You were a young king.
Yeah, young king. So that was a surprise. And be active in cultural events in Limassol, in Cyprus. So yeah, I think I probably ticked some of those boxes, and they probably thought, let's give it a try.
Is it tiring? Did you feel is it a lot?
The program is very intensive, but when you do something that you like, it's never tiring, to be honest. I'll give you an example. So one typical day within those 2-week period, in which you start even before for the preparations, I visited 3 schools, because you go to schools also, so you can do some workshops and teach the students about carnival in primary and secondary schools. And you have a lot of fun with them. Then I remember I drove to Nicosia, where I did 2 radio interviews. Then I went to Rick for a shooting, which was some promotion for Carnival with the program was theirs. Then I went to Andena for Casa de Miguel. It's Andena, yeah. Andena, yes. For Casa de Miguel recording. Finished. Drove back to Limassol. Only started from the morning. Drove back to Limassol, to the Limassol City of Dreams, the casino, because they had a carnival event there and I was invited. So you can understand I finished at 1:30 in the night. So you can understand how intense.
Yes. And how about the costume? Is it up to you? Do you have any? Is there any criteria?
Yeah, all of the Carnival Kings have a say in the costume, because you want to collaborate well with the designer. So you feel you wear something that represents you, and feel comfortable wearing it. I mean, and yeah, I think I conveyed what I imagined and what I like, and we created something unique. Each carnival king creates something unique. This year's theme was the confetti, cartopolemos. So it was colorful and bright, and I wanted it to be colorful and bright. And I told them, like, for example, I don't want a typical crown. I want it to be more abstract, more fun. Um, and yeah, we with a good collaboration, we created the outfit that was the main outfit for the parades and some events. So
Great fun. That sounds like
yeah, yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. Very nice experience. And remember, when you're a king or a queen, um, you always participate in the events. Doesn't mean it's over like after a year.
well, exactly. It doesn't end with carnival, does it?
No, I mean now, for example, I do, and I always did them, but now it's more dressing up, creating new costumes from scratch with different themes. So it gives this new dimension of. That's why I always say carnival is not only in those 2 weeks. You can stretch it, and
Thank
I
you.
mean with these events now. It's nice. And even kids now come and say, "Oh, it's a carnival king," even now. So they like it so much, and it's important.
I think it's very important to make life more colorful whenever we get an opportunity.
Exactly. It's all about fun and
Yes.
positivity. And some of the messages for this year that I tried to pass through a variety of events that I organized was inclusivity.
Mhm.
Inclusivity for everyone, not only the Limassolians, let's say, because we have people living in Cyprus from many other countries. It's nice because recently I had a couple from Russia that stopped me in the street and were like, you're the carnival king. And they were so excited because they felt part of this event. And I told them, I didn't do anything, but they said like your actions and what we heard. So that was very important, and that was one message I wanted to pass. And the other one was recycling and creativity. And we did do a number of workshops on how you can repurpose, reuse some of your own clothes, some materials that you have in your house to create a nice outfit for yourself. You don't always need to go and buy something new.
Yeah, we tend to do that, don't we? And I think there is so many things we can use. I didn't know about that. That is a very good idea. But I think inclusivity is really the name of the game in life as well. When you go somewhere and you see that someone is by himself or by herself, to actually go and tell this person, come and sit with us, or go and have a chat. I think you can make such a big difference in somebody's life by just saying something to them.
Exactly. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice to be part of this.
Definitely. Now, coming back to our other passion, to tourism and to our island. I call it my island in the sun. It's kind of a trademark now. And now, for somebody who has never been here, for somebody who is listening to us, why should they come to Cyprus?
I think it's a very unique island that blends. Okay, first of all, I'll just say the cliche: the sun and the sea.
It's a lot
Which we do
more.
have.
Yes.
And we have plenty of sunshine all year round. The temperatures now are really nice. So that's a very big plus for us. And the crystal clear blue water that we have, especially in Agia Napa and some other regions. But the other one is this amazing blend of different cultures that arrived in our island. And you can experience it by visiting a number of archaeological sites. And obviously, we had the Venetians coming in, we had the Hellenistic period, Byzantine period, King Richard the Leonhard came, we had the Knight of the Templars, Crusade. So we had all of these people coming into our island, and you can experience this history by visiting a number of our monuments and understanding how we have, as Cypriots, come to be. in terms of our culture, why it's rich with so many interesting. Because remember our dialect, we have the Cypriot dialect, which has taken a number of words from the different people that visited our island.
Different influences. I think it's very noticeable. And I think that is also probably because sometimes people ask, what is the difference between Greeks and Cypriots? I think it's that influence really that affects the character or the mentality of a Cypriot.
Yes. Yeah. No.
Right. We are already getting close. Let me see what else I have here. The hat. You have a very unique image, which I like, because you use this brakas, this old-fashioned, well, I don't know it's not old-fashioned, but it's this typical symbol of a Cypriot. And then like this sombrero, how did this come about?
So the sombrero, it's the straw hat that says I love Cyprus. So how it started? Well, by accident, because for me, even before I started doing any videos or people knowing me, I always wore that hat because it's sunny outside and it's hot. And I like that hat. I found it from the souvenir shops, and I was like, oh, it keeps my head cool, refreshed, and it's a shade. And I wore it in the beach when I was, because I'm a day kind of person. Like I wake up in the morning and I'm outside literally in the sun, 40 degrees, whatever, until the night. So it was really handy. And then I was like, it says I love Cyprus. So when I went to Hong Kong, I was like, well, I have to show the people in Hong Kong and in Asia when I was traveling, because I took the traditional Cypriot outfit, right? What Cyprus is all about. So I combined the traditional Cypriot outfit with the I Love Cyprus hat, which was a little bit touristic. But that straw hat, they used to wear it in the fields for example, the potato fields. They were under the sun picking potatoes. So we can say it's part of like a farmer's back then. Probably they still wear it. Okay, without saying I love Cyprus, but the straw hat, because it provides shade. So I think by accident it became this trademark, and that hat, I traveled a lot of places. It is traveling again to more places. Going back to Hong Kong in June.
Yeah, that was because I want to tell to the people who are listening, you have to follow him on social media. You will see the name in the title, and I think you're using your name in all your social. You don't have any other name, do you?
Oh no.
Great TikTok and great, really worth following. So yeah, that's what I want to end this with. What's the plan, Vasily? What's next?
So what's next? So in June, I'll be going back to Hong Kong, and again advertising Cyprus, representing Cyprus with the traditional Cypriot outfit, and with the Hong Kong Tourism Board. Also, we're going to do something together. So that I'll be there for about 1.5 weeks. Then I'll be visiting. I have a conference in Japan. So I'll be doing a little bit of touring around. But I'll be taking with me the traditional Cypriot outfit and wearing it, because that's what I do anyway. I mean, that Cypriot outfit. I went to India. You were asking me what other countries. So India, I remember I was in the Taj Mahal, and I was literally wearing all the Cypriot outfit and the hat and stuff. And I remember people taking pictures of me, and then suddenly there was a crowd, and I became the attraction rather than the Taj Mahal behind me. It was so much fun. That's a highlight in my life. Venice, I wore that in Venice. The outfit, I mean, I'm taking it everywhere, and I'm taking photos with it, and it's nice so people see it, and then they take pictures with you, and they ask you, "Oh, where are you from?" So now it's going to new places, to Japan. Beijing is going to Beijing. So it's going to be really cool. I mean,
It's very-
imagine a Cypriot vragas, the traditional Cypriot, being at the wall of China or the
Yes.
Forbidden City.
And for those who don't know what it is, you just have to Google Vasilis Papavasiliou and you will see his profile picture. That's what it is. And my very last question to you is, what is your favorite place in Cyprus?
Well, my favorite place is a city. In terms of a city, it's going to be.
Whatever. What
I'm going to
place?
say, for me, Limassol. I like Limassol a lot. Okay, I mean, each person where he grows up is their favorite place, but I like Limassol a lot.
Yeah, and you may. I mean, I think we should I'm from Lucerne. I think Lucerne is the most beautiful town in the world. And when I say that, they say, yeah, but this is nice. I don't care because that's where I'm from. And you are absolutely right. Limassol should be your favorite place in Cyprus and in the world, probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's my home, so.
Yes, and it has become my home, and I like it too. So we're sharing it.
I mean, and also, if I didn't like it or if I didn't like Cyprus, I wouldn't promote it, right?
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't. So that's what I always say to everyone. Do something that you really like, and you will never see it as a job. It's like a hobby.
Yes, a paid hobby, and I think this should be. And I'm sure your students who listen to you like that, because I totally agree. If you do something that you love, it's just
Exactly.
I think there is nothing worse in life than spending years and years doing something that you don't like.
Yeah. I think that's torture.
Yes.
You just reminded me, since you mentioned about Cyprus and how people view Cyprus. I remember, so when I was back in Hong Kong and I was teaching, it was one of my very first lectures in a huge lecture room. So I was a lecturer, and I remember just briefly introducing myself and saying to the students, so I'm from Cyprus. And I forgot. I didn't think that it was so important just to put a couple of slides to show Cyprus, what it is. I just said I'm from Cyprus, blah, blah, blah. And then as I was walking out down the lecture theater, they Googled it, some students. And I will never forget a student with a Google map showing me a small dot, which was Cyprus, and going, oh, do you have electricity?
Yes, we do.
I was nervous because it was one of my first lectures. Then I became even more nervous on this question, which was sincere. And I had to explain. Then I was like, okay, I have to explain. Yes, we are about 1 million people in the island. It's about a small village in China, but yes, we do have electricity. And then I gave a little bit of history, so you can understand how important it is.
Perfect. I think this is a perfect way to end this episode. Yes, we do have electricity. We are a very modern, beautiful island in the sun. Thank you so much for being on Most Memorable Journeys today, Vasilis Papavasiliou.
Oh, thank you for having me, and I will see you for sure soon.
If you enjoy my podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You will find all the information in the show notes.